Hello students, welcome to BTech 360. Today I'm going to talk about an institution which is very good. It's far better than many of the NITs, many of the IITs, many of the IIITs also. But it is very little known beyond certain parts of India. And you must, if you are a BTech aspirant, if you want to get into a good college, this is one college that must be a part of your consideration set. Especially if you wanted to join a very good institution. Before I start talking about the institution, 3 hygiene checks for you. The first one is, if you want me to cover any college or exam of your choice, please write to us in the message box here. We'll be happy to cover that. If you want to talk to us personally, there's a WhatsApp number, send us a message here and we'll be happy to have one of our counselors call you up and then they can set up a meeting with me or any of my counselors. And 3, please subscribe to BTech 360. That is very important for us, right? Now I'll talk about the institution that we actually mentioned. I'm talking of Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Information and Communication Technology. It is based in Ahmedabad in Gujarat. This was established in 2001. In fact, when you look at it, there were 4 phases how Gujarat developed in terms of education. The first one is the nationalistic movement when you actually had the Gujarat Vidyapeeth, which was set up in 1920, which created a lot of institutions. And then you had the second wave where a lot of private colleges came in. There were no universities, but a lot of private colleges came in, established under the Gujarat State Act, and they were affiliated to the Gujarat University in some form or the other. Then you had the third wave, where Mr. Keshubai Patel started donating lands, and some of the best, world-renowned institutions came in, including NID, IIM Ahmedabad, and Ahmedabad University, CEPT University, and many other universities came in. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, Keshubai Patel, all these people got in, and some of the best brains of the country and the world also came in together to ensure that the education ecosystem in Gujarat really evolved. In fact, the best institution that we have in management and design is based in Gujarat, which is NID Ahmedabad and IIM Ahmedabad. And of course, the liberal universities like Ahmedabad University and CEPT University also came in around the same time. The fourth wave is what we call where the private participation was invited to get into established institution for research and education, which is where DIICT came in, which is the Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Information and Communication Technology. The reason why it came in is very clear that, it's a very boutique university, founded on research also, and also ensuring that the academic cycle also, they deliver to the student outcomes that are promised. An institution that was established with the right intent, with the right integrity to contribute to nation building, while also ensuring that the students also get the student outcomes that they always want, which is placement, for example. In fact, when you look at the placement of this institution, it will beat many of the IITs, NITs and IIITs at the median salary level. That's because it's very boutique. It takes very less number of students, the best quality students, and then delivers the outcome for them. Let me explain to you why DA-IICT must be a part of your consideration set if you're wanting to get into a good BTech college. Right. Now, this is what we'll talk about: the placement stats, the salary data, the recruiters, job role, and everything that we do. Now, there are 2 ways of getting into DA-IICT. One is, of course, they take a few students from Gujarat CET, which is the Gujarat Common Entrance Test, which is meant for the students of Gujarat. They also have another alternate pathway, which is they use the JEE main rank to get students in. Because obviously they want the best quality students from within Gujarat and outside Gujarat also, all over the country. In fact, they also have NRI students also, they have scholarships to ensure that the NRI students also come in, and you'll see the data here. Now you look at the thing here. This was established in 2001 in the 4th wave, as I told you. And then it's a private college, of course. Established, the name is, of course, you would know everything. He's the original entrepreneur that India ever saw, which is Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, late Sri Dhirubhai Ambani. Right? It was established under his name. In fact, one of the family members of Ambani family is the president of the institute even today as we speak. Right? It established over 50 acres of land, 1,559 students, 88% are boys and 12% are girls. Right? 9.2% students come from outside the state. This is where I personally think that you can actually work a lot more to get more students coming in here from outside the state of better quality. You need to be a 98, 99 percentile to actually get into this institution also. So it's very competitive from that perspective. 88% from within the state of Gujarat. About 40 students come from outside the country. So aspirationally, a lot of students from outside the country also want to come and study here, which is where about 2.6% of the student cohort are NRIs who placed outside of India, but they come back to study at DIICT. And the faculty is 133. So we essentially are talking about 1:12 kind of a student faculty ratio. Now, what are the programs that they offer? They offer about 6 programs at undergrad level. By the way, they also have some fantastic postgrad and research programs also, including PhD for law and those kind of things. But we'll stick to the undergrad at this point in time because that's what we're looking at this point, right? They have BTech in Information and Communication Technology, which goes with the name itself, the Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Information and Communication Technology. So they actually have that particular program, Information and Communication Technology. They started with that, of course. Then they have BTech Honors in ICT with minor in computational science. So you actually have this one plus with a minor which is in computational science. So you actually open up more options for you to work on. This is an emerging program, BTech in Mathematics and Computing, and it's doing very, very well. This is something that I would always advise every student to look at very closely. Then you have BTech in Electronics and VLSI Design, right? Then BTech in Computer Science and AI, which is, of course, all of us know there is a lot of competition for this of late. And BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering. Right. I also showed you what all is taught, what is the focus area here. ICT, IT, Communication, Electronics and Social Sciences. In ICT plus, then there is a minor that is added here. Then Mathematics, Statistics and Computer Science. So you actually know in the nomenclature itself of what is being taught and what is the focus area of the program. So there are 6 programs at undergrad level. Now, if you look at the placements, this is what you should look at. The total placement, and we have that 23-24 data. After that, we're still looking for some data with NIRF and it will come. This because it's based on the NIRF data of 2025. The 2026 data is still not out there. And 25, they submitted the data of 24. So we actually have that data at this point in time. The total intake is 390. Including lateral recruitment, it became 396. Of which 358 students graduated. So about 9-10% students did not even graduate. They might have taken a backlog or they might have taken a deferral, but about 10% students did not even graduate. The place is 265, right? The kind of institute that it is, for the kind of programs that they have, quite a few students actually move up for higher studies for research also. That might have happened because the number of students who move for higher studies is 72, which is close to 20% of what you take as graduating students. So about 10% students don't even graduate, another 20% students who graduated don't even opt for placement, they move for higher studies. So what is left is, we're dealing with a 93% placement and the median salary, this is very important, is 18 lakh rupees. Now you go back to the placement and the median salary across all the IITs, NITs and IIITs. Not more than 10 of all these IITs and NITs and all can actually boast of an 18 lakh kind of a median salary, which is what DA-IICT works on. You would obviously have the IIT Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, those kind of, IIT Bangalore, Madras and those kind of names talking of this kind of a median salary. Or you might actually have NIT Surathkal, Warangal and Trichy and those kind of institutions possibly talking of this kind of salary. But if you take away top 10 of the engineering colleges in the country, an 18 lakh median salary is very, very difficult to achieve. And the reason is simple, because the intake that this institution has is very, very limited. It's 390 students all put together. So it's very easy for them to work on it, create quality, ensure that it is very small cohort that is coming in, create very good quality, have the best faculty teach them, and then place them very, very well. Which is where I personally think that the number of students that seek out this institution from outside the state of, Gujarat has to be much more and not just 8-9%. Right. So 18 lakhs is the average salary. And if you go back also, last year it was 15 lakh rupees. And the placement has always been about 90%, 95% kind of a numbers. Right. Now, what is it? If you look at the placements across the board, 20 to 23 it was 17.5 lakh median salary. Average was 19.7 lakh. So one is median, 2 is the average, because average obviously moves up because there might be a few people who got very, very good salary, right? And the highest LPA, if you look at it, is 82 lakh rupees. So across the board, you actually have 80 lakhs over the previous 2 years, and average salary is about 19 lakh and above, and a median salary of about 16.5, 17 lakhs and above. Now, which is a very good number for you to work towards, right? Now, let's understand the placements at an overarching sense, right? So in all, the company had about 150 plus companies that came for placement. They made 400 plus offers, right? Of the 400 offers, the highest CTC that was given was about 53 lakh rupees. The average CTC was 37.52 for top 50 students. The top 100 students had an average CTC of 28.65 lakh rupees. The highest stipend for the internship was 1.5 lakh rupees per month. And the average stipend for internship was 40,000 rupees per month. Very few people actually talk of internships. When they talk of placements, they try to, don't talk of internships. Remember that it's internship that converts to a placement. So very, very good that DA-IICT is actually talking of its internships also. Now, they also have scholarships. What are the scholarships? They have institute fellowships, they have merit scholarships, they have merit cum means scholarships, and they have for direct admission for foreign students, which is NRS, they also have a merit scholarship. Right. So, and each of them is like, for example, in the meritorious fellowship that you're dealing with, JEAR up to 1 to 5,000, you need to be there, and it's 5 awards. What is it? It's 100% fellowship. I'll just show you that one also. Or ACPC rank 1 to 25. Similarly, top 5 board toppers outside the Gujarat. Rank 1. For outside Gujarat, it's rank 1 to 10. Although within Gujarat, so you actually have 5 more scholarships here. JEAR 1 to 1,000, they have girls fellowship, which is 5 more. And here the benefit is 100% tuition fees. Right. But you must remember that you must maintain a 8.5 CGPA kind of per semester to continue to retain that. You simply can't get in based on your past performance and not continue to perform on a regular cycle, which is what they demand from you. Right. And then you actually have, as I said, top 5 students within this, you actually have a few other scholarships also. Merit scholarship, merit cum means scholarship, 70% also you have, and merit cum mean 50% scholarships also you have. You can just take the screenshot and you'll be able to understand what are the kind of scholarships. It's 100%, 70% and 50% is what you have. Now, for the direct admission for foreign students, you also have 5 scholarships, 5 SPI holders. And it's 70,000 rupees per semester is what the benefit is, and maximum 8 semesters is what you give as a scholarship for this particular 5 students. So the institution obviously is working hard to get the best quality students coming in so that the cohort quality increases, and to that extent you also have, they also are making sure that if a student wants to study in the institution, they actually are able to be subsidizing those who are meritorious but could not afford it, or meritorious, how do you invite them by giving 100% scholarship and all, so that the best students also take a punt and then come in and join this particular college. Now the companies that are coming for recruitment are also very, very good. The best of the companies, because I remember I told you 150 companies that have come for placement is what they claim. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Investment Bank, Sprinkler, Techion, Bank of America, Client Joy, DE Shaw, which is a investment banking company, Altasian, Flipkart, Deutsche Bank, Unify Apps, Infocusp, Media.net, Wells Fargo, Jio, Karza, Barclays. So you actually have banks, software companies, tech companies, investment banks, research companies, LinkedIn, Nutanix, Scholar, so BNM Mellon, which is right. So you actually have all kinds of companies, Colgate-Palmolive, FMCG company, Futures First, Optum, Hospitality, Oyo. So you actually have all kinds of companies coming in here for placement, and that proves the strength of the institution that you know. No, you must remember one thing, when you are 25 years old, it was established in 2001. Right, their alumni would be all over the place. They would be occupying very senior positions in different companies all over the place, and to that extent, they will always be benefited because those alumni of theirs will come back to the college to recruit students from this particular college, and vice versa. These colleges will also be approaching their alumni who are sitting in top senior positions in different companies, and to that extent, the placement always is advantageous for these people. We also looked at what is the highest closing rank. By the way, what I'm talking now is general merit. Highest closing rank of Gujarat CET examination that we're talking of. For BTech ICT, the highest closing rank was 71, which means it's the most competitive, if you will, right? Then for BTech Mathematics and Computing, for Gujarat CET rank, it's 91. Now in Gujarat CET, you must remember there are 2 things. One is 40% weightage for what you have as the Gujarat CET examination score itself, and 60% for the class 12th examination. Because board results have 60% weightage there, and Gujarat CET examination results have 40% weightage there, and both are working out here. BTech Information and Communication Technology is 149 highest closing rank, and BTech Electronics and Real Estate Design is 223 highest closing rank. Now, if you look at JEE main cutoff, which is the other pathway for all people who are not from Gujarat, you need to be, if you want to get into CSE or IICT or AI and any of those things, you need to be between 98 to 98%. We're talking of JEE main cutoff, right? And for other branches, it will be 96 to 98%. So again, you need to be right up there to be a part of this particular college. So one of the good things about this is, if and when you join this college, you'll be a part of a very good quality cohort who are very, very focused on the career and student outcomes. Now, we also looked at the LinkedIn profile to understand how the students who studied at this institution have done. We found 9,100 students who studied at or claimed that they studied at this particular institution, of which right now in Microsoft 125 students are working, in Deloitte 33 students are working, in EY 16 students are working, and in Unify Apps 108 students are working. right? That's the kind of number that you have of the number of students. At one point in time in Microsoft, 340 students were working, which means about 215 students would have joined there, moved up, and then moved on for other better opportunities also. And same thing with the Deloitte and those kind of things. If you look at the FANG companies, what we call, which are the companies which are $1 trillion companies around the country, what we call MANG companies now because of Meta. Meta, there are 42 students who studied at this particular college who are right now working in Meta. In Apple, 20 students are working. In Amazon, 228 students are working. In Netflix, 2 are working. And in Google, 160 are working. So again, the college is so good that one, the companies come for placement, and two, these students also are there, which essentially with this kind of number that are working, very clearly that these companies are coming for placement, and the students are also working hard, and the companies are also going to retain them, and more importantly, many of them would have moved on for better opportunities also. So it's very, very good in that sense. We also looked at the LinkedIn profile to understand where these students who studied at this particular college, how are they based and where are they based, and how are they performing. If you look at that, 83% students are in India, which also means that 17% students are world over. So they've left the shores of India and are occupying different global positions around the world, of which about 10% are in USA, 2% are in Canada, 60 students are in UAE, and so on and so forth. So 17% students of such a young institution, because in education, 25 years is very, very young. When you actually have that kind of a number of 17% students working outside of India, it's a very, very good number because it's so aspirational that a sixth of the students are working outside of India for such a young institution is very, very credible, which is what it is. And of course, beyond that, about 49% students are in, 26% are in Ahmedabad, 14% in Karnataka, because, remember, it's a tech company, tech institution largely, technology institution. So Karnataka being the software capital of the country, a lot of students are working there. 7% are in Bombay, and so on and so forth. Right. So this is what we've done. You want me to cover any other engineering college, please feel free, and I will, if you write to me, I'll be happy to cover that. Please subscribe to BTech 360. And most importantly, if you want to talk to us personally, just use the message, the WhatsApp number, send us a message, a counselor will call you. Thank you so much. Namaste.